I remember I was a pre-med student, and uh, the it felt I felt so much anxiety
Mm.
with having to tell my grandmother that I was no longer going to be a pre-med student. Like I was no longer desiring to become a doctor.
Did you feel more anxieties in telling your grandmother than your mom?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because on my grandmother's side, I was the only one that went to college. And
Wow.
so not only did I go to
Okay.
college, but now I'm pursuing to become a doctor. So that was like a big deal.
Oh, yes.
And following up with what you're saying, it wasn't just that I had decided not to pursue medical school,
Mm-hmm.
but it was that I didn't know what I was changing it to.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So my grandmother's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I just knew I didn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you feel like you're quitting certain things. And I just want to encourage you guys that what T Self is saying is not just about knowing immediately what you want to do, but at least being aware that you want to change it to something.
Right.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience. I'm Tracy Self.
And I'm Darnell Self. Welcome to our last episode of this season.
It's the season finale.
Yeah, which is great. Listen, we're already heading towards the last quarter of 2025.
Crazy. It seemed like it went so fast.
I know. And I remember us being in Miami during our goal setting session for 2025. And we wrote up some pretty big goals that caused us to have some significant dream building, stretching, self-talk conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and so we're going to hit on a little bit on that, but at the same time, I want to make sure that all of us are remembering throughout the rest of 2025 to have positive self-talk
There's
with
only
ourselves.
3 months left.
I know,
So
that's it. 90 days. You can do anything for 90 days.
We're in fourth quarter now.
Yeah, so listen, just remember the story you're telling yourself about yourself, like the things you're actually saying to yourself about yourself will determine what you attract for yourself. So be really careful as you continue to course correct and get better at saying wonderful things about yourself, not just the version who you are today, but the version who you'd like to become. Speak to that person because, how would that person like to hear the self-talk that you're saying about yourself? Like, hey, listen, I look forward to, I am this, I have become that, I attract this. These are all things that I know my future self wants to hear, and not just beating up on my past self for the things that I didn't accomplish and the things that didn't go according to plan, but how that pivot will show me that it all happened for me.
The biggest word that I have learned to change is try. I very often would say, well, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to do this. But just say I am.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. And you always remind me when I say, well, I was trying to be sweet. And you're like, no, you are being sweet. Like, keep saying that to yourself because words have power, even if we're saying them to ourselves, right?
Yeah, no, it's so true. It's
They really
so
do.
true. And, I love the growth that I see in those who are watching the self-talk experience, because it really gives you an opportunity not just to see where people are, but how far they've come. It's easy sometimes to look at yourself, whether it be your weight, whether it be your finances, and to say, man, I'm only at this. But let's look at how far you have come. Somebody else has only, grown their income 5,000. You've grown yours 50,000. Even if you still make less than that person, you've
Right.
grown the most. And that's just
That's
something
good.
that,
Yes,
that's
good.
something that we should really, give ourselves some celebration for that achievement, regardless of how big or how small, because it is about our own growth, not in comparison to someone else's growth.
Right. Well, we were talking earlier about our goals. So we started in January and we had a talk and we had all these goals. We planned them out and then we came back and we told you guys, guess what? We've already changed our goals. It wasn't even halfway through the year and we changed our goals. Then we changed them again. We changed them again. So I was thinking to myself, we set these goals and they were set in stone and we were going to do it, and now we're changing them. But I think the key to changing is changing it to something. And we were talking about this. So we had in January, we made a decision where our vacation would be. So our vacation was going to be in September. So that's what it was. That was on the agenda.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't do it in September. We had to change it. But we didn't just say, well, we can't do it. We have to do it another time. When are we going to do it? We had to change it. And we have to be intentional about when we make a change. It's okay to make a change, but what are we changing it to?
Right.
What's the new goal? I think a lot of times we mess ourselves up because we say, oh man, I didn't get that done. I couldn't do it, or I had to switch this around. Switch it around to what?
Right.
Right? Are we still, as long as you're still going in the same direction that you had planned on going in, sometimes your goals change, or sometimes you get setbacks that you didn't see coming in January. You didn't know it was going to happen in March.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's so true. I remember I was a pre-med student, and I felt so much anxiety with having to tell my grandmother that I was no longer going to be a pre-med student. Like I was no longer desiring to become a doctor.
Did you feel more anxieties in telling your grandmother than your mom?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because on my grandmother's side, I was the only one that went to college.
Wow.
And so not only did I go to
Okay.
college, but now I'm pursuing to become a doctor. So that was like a big deal.
Oh, yes.
And following up with what you're saying, it wasn't just that I had decided not to pursue medical school, but it was that I didn't know what I was changing it to.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So my grandmother's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I just knew I didn't want to do that. And so sometimes you feel like you're quitting certain things. And I just want to encourage you guys that what T-Self is saying is not just about knowing immediately what you want to do, but at least being aware that you want to change it to something.
Right.
Right. So like when I said, hey, babe, there's no way we're going to be able to take that vacation. Like it's just not responsible for us to take it right now with the momentum we have going on in our business.
Right.
And because it's hard to gain momentum back, right? It's just easy to lose. Hard to gain, but easy to lose. And so because we have so much momentum, it's like there's no way I could take vacation right now. Like it's just, I could literally lose 2 years of revenues and growth by taking a vacation at the wrong time. So it's not that we're not going to take a vacation, as you said. It was just, okay, when are we going to take it? And even if it took us 2 days to figure that out.
Right. In the moment, you didn't know.
Right.
But you put some thought to it, and then we made a decision.
So when I said, because you could have been like, you need to rest, your health is first, self-care is important. If I just said, we're not going to take a vacation, right? If I just said that, but I didn't say that. I just said, right now it doesn't work. We're going to have to move that. Move it means it's still going to happen. There's no vacation for us this year. That's not what I said. It's like, we're going to move it. So even though I didn't know when we were going to move it, the key is, as you said, that we said, hey, we're going to figure out when we're going to move it. And then within a few days, we'd figure that out.
Sure.
But we were intentional about, okay, what we're going to do. So like if I'm stuck on a step and I decide, you know what, I'm ready to move and go up the steps, I'm not quitting the step. People are like, man, he's a quitter. He quit the business. He quit the program. He quit no, as long as, look, I didn't quit. I just left that step. I moved up. I moved in a different direction. And so because I knew I was going up, and so I'm gonna have to leave this in order to get there. So it's not always quitting. Sometimes it's making an adjustment to no longer align yourself with something that doesn't fit the new you, to fit your goals, to fit the person that you see yourself becoming. It doesn't align with that new purpose, or something was dropped in your spirit and you prayed about something and you're like, this is not a fit for me anymore.
Right.
So people say, you quit. No, I didn't quit. I just moved. I moved on to something that I feel like I'm being called to do, and that no longer fulfills me. It no longer makes me feel like I'm walking in my purpose.
Yes.
And I think that's important, right? So it's not just that we're moving in a different direction. It's not that we're just pivoting, but what we're pivoting to. And I think that's important, to at least ask yourself, okay, what am I moving to? Why am I shifting? And sometimes we just say, oh, it'll figure itself out. And if we're not intentional about, finding what that is, or seeking or being intentional, maybe in reading about other opportunities that are out there for us or things that fulfill us. We have to ask ourselves questions. And I think that's, what you said is so profound. So sorry to really take over there,
That's
but it
okay.
really, I felt like, man, what you said was so good because you could have easily been like, I just don't understand, but why you would say this when we already agreed in the beginning of the year that we were going to do it this way. And some people become so rigid and so stuck that they never adjust. And because they never adjust, they never really elevate to the next level because they feel like what I thought and what I said just is. And there's no way I'm going to make
There's
an
no
adjustment.
leeway.
Yeah.
There's no leeway. That's not a good way to be, too. You have to be open.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, babe, honestly, that takes trust. It takes trust in yourself, and it takes trust in the person you're communicating with. I think it's easy for me to pivot with you because I trust you. So perhaps that conversation may have gone a little differently if I didn't trust you in business, and I didn't trust you in the relationship, and I didn't trust you in your decisions about what's best for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe it would have gone a little different.
Yeah. No, but what about, as you said in the previous podcast, what if, my decisions had led to me having a lack of success, but yet I was still moving in the direction where I was seeking out new skills or developing new skills, seeking out new opportunities? Was the trust in me that I had the work ethic that would eventually yield results? Because in the beginning, I don't think it was that, you trusted that I would find opportunities to generate income because we weren't making income. What was the trust in?
The trust was just in you, my belief in you. The reason why that I chose you as a partner, the reason why I chose you as a friend. All those qualities kind of come together when you make a decision when you're with someone.
Yeah.
I believe. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. And I think, every couple is different, right? We talk about that all the time because, you are a real passenger princess. Like, I know it's a thing where people say, oh, I'm passenger princess, but you really are. Like, you don't drive at all in Houston. Here we are 7 months. You guys heard us talk about this in another podcast.
We talked about this before. Why are we bringing this back
Because
up again?
because we're going on 8 months, and you are a true passenger princess because you've not been in the driver's seat since we've been in Houston.
I'm trying to find the correlation with the topic. Where did that come from?
Because I'm saying every relationship is different. So you're saying you trust me because of the friendship. You trust me because as a partner, you came into it saying, I'm going to trust you and you're going to trust me and we're going to make decisions together and move forward. So I was saying that every relationship is different though, because, we were listening to one young lady on her podcast, and she was saying that, for her, it's about finding someone who she can build with. And I was just sharing with you that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not our story. Right? You didn't come in saying, look, I'm looking to build it. You're like, I'm looking to support you to build. Like, as a female, I like being provided for, protected, and I'm okay with that. Like, unapologetic, just like the other young ladies, unapologetic for saying, look, what I bring to the table is a grind. What I bring to the table is a co-partnership in the business that they run. And we just define that partnership differently. Your partnership is in 100% support of what I do so that I can focus more on what I do. You take care of everything that I don't have to worry about, that I would have to worry about if you weren't playing your role.
Oh, and that's okay.
Yeah. And that's what I'm
everybody-
saying.
yeah.
That's why I brought that up. Everybody's different. That's what I was saying. You're a true passenger princess. Somebody else had been like, oh man, forget that. I got to be in control. I need to be able to go when I need to go, when I'm ready to go. And you're like, babe, can you take me to the grocery store? Babe, can you take me to get my lashes
That's
done?
because
Babe.
I support your driving skills. You're great. You're great. It's fine. But yes, I received the point. I got it.
Okay,
Got it.
passenger princess.
Good point.
Yes.
Yes.
So guys, what we're saying is change is okay, but be intentional about what you like to change to. When your self-talk is like, oh man, I can't believe I'm not doing this anymore, or I can't believe I'm not able to go here anymore. That's okay.
It's a pivot.
Yeah, if you still want to go, Now let's set a date when you like to go. Man, I wasn't able to go this time to this, whatever that is. That's okay. But if you just leave it there, sometimes it's disappointing. It's discouraging. It's frustrating. It makes you sad, depressed. Unless you say, that's okay. I'm still going to be able to go. It won't be that same experience. May not be with the same people. But I've decided I'm going to do this. I've decided I'm still going to go. But it's going to be with this person. Or it's going to be at another time. Or I'll go on that. If it's something that happens annually, I'll go next year. Right? So at least now you're just like, hey, when is next year's date? Is that available yet?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I think even some people with the conferences that we throw who say, man, I can't go. Well, listen, if you definitely can't go, the worst thing is to beat yourself up over something that you already know you can't do.
Right.
If you can do it and you're still trying to figure it out, then yeah, let that frustration motivate you to find a way to get there. But if you know you absolutely cannot be there, somebody's getting married, somebody passed away, and you just cannot be there, then instead of beating ourselves up over something that we can't change, let's think about how we can move forward despite that situation so that we didn't just not go. We figured out, yeah, but I will go here.
Right.
Won't be the same, but I'll go here.
Right.
And that helps us to feel better knowing that, as you stated, it's not just a change, but you have rescheduled something that substitutes for the things that we couldn't do, that we needed to change from.
Good job.
All right. Guys, remember, we got a few months left before the end of 2025. So we expect that we're still going to be working on our self-talk. We'll be listening to replays of our self-talk. We'll still be posting clips from self-talk episodes from the past to remind you of things that you can say better to yourself about yourself so that eventually you attract everything you want for yourself.
We will see you guys next season. And if your spouse tells you that you have to go on vacation at another time, make sure they give you a new date.
See you guys. Take care. Enjoy 2025.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.